And we're back with another episode 6 of our neighborhood build series. Today we got a special one. IKAS, he's a modder who drops a whole bunch of really nice builds on console, dropped a small Barndominium today. So we are going to put it on our lot 94. Like I said, this is episode 6. If you haven't seen the series yet, go check out the other episodes. We build the small A-frame house, construction site, gas station, little service shop, the whole likes. I show you how to build it all step by step, talk you through it, tell you my means, my methods. I always like to start by painting out the grass, it just looks better. So this is a brand new house. It's called the Small Barndominium. It is absolutely beautiful. He drops such good mods. He's dropped a couple different Barndominium mods and a couple different house mods that I absolutely love to use. So when I saw this, I instantly had to make this video. You can choose between metal and wood for the siding. I kind of like the wood look, so we went with wood, and then we kind of went with this like off-white. I just thought that it looked really nice with that wood accent. We're gonna go around and paint the grass once again, and then we'll start with our driveway. Because of the orientation of this house, we kind of have to make a little windy driveway, but I don't hate it. I kind of like that. We will test it. I'll do that off camera here. We'll test it with a vehicle just to make sure that we can still make it in, but we'll make it work. This is a little different for what I normally do. I normally just kind of do a straight driveway and don't really do too many extremes unless it's for like the man cave mansions where I have just a ton of space to use, but the neighborhood doesn't give you a ton of room to build like a really big driveway, but we'll still put a little space over here just in case we want to get a trailer or something like that. So compared to the vehicle, we do need to get a little bit bigger here just to be sure we have enough room, but it doesn't have to be massive. You don't have to like paint an entire parking lot, you know. Just be modest with it. At this point, we can start our favorite part, going back and forth through our decorations. So we're not gonna go too extreme. This house is absolutely beautiful, like I've said many times now. It doesn't need a whole bunch to it, but we are gonna add like a nice little pathway out front, things like that. So this is part of the placeable dairy farm pack. It has these little concrete tiles. I did use them on my man cave like compound. I absolutely love how these look. They're just like nice little like concrete plates almost that, I don't know, they just add a nice little like fancy spice to your build. So we are gonna do a nice little uniform path out front to the front door. Just try and make that look really nice here. Alright, next let's put some gravel down, just kind of have a little base around it. Add a little contrast, make it look a little different, you know what I mean? Going back through, we are going to put hedges along here. I don't know, dude. Hedges, like, this isn't super realistic. Like, you don't go through a neighborhood and every house doesn't have a hedge, but I love how they look, so I put them everywhere. At the end of the day, it's your build, do what you want, you know what I mean? Alright, we got that front grand entry down. Let's move back to decorations and see what we can find. I know I want a shelf in there or like a workbench, something like that, so we'll keep that in mind, but that is at the end of the list, so yeah, we won't worry about it right now. We always need garbage cans, fire hydrants, mailboxes, so we will put a couple garbage cans right here, you know, trash and recycle, save the planet. Looking back through here, just kind of browse around. I see this vacuum. This is part of the newer decoration pack. It just came out like last week, so we'll throw a little vacuum in the corner. There is a grill on the patio already, so we don't really need to add a grill. Not too worried about that. They kind of covered it. You know me and my black flower pots, I always throw them in, so let's put them under the light so at nighttime it kind of like shines on them. I like that. We'll throw one by the front door as well, just to, you know, add our own little personal flair to the house. You gotta do that. I kind of like the idea of throwing something here just because it's not really enough room to put trees in, but we could put these nice little planters here and it does fill in the space and Around kind of by the side of the garage, they have like some mini versions of these. They're kind of hard to see on the screen here, but when you're like walking in first person, you can see them. So we'll put those over there just to kind of mimic what's going on the garage. Even though it is on a way smaller scale over there, it's still kind of nice to keep that uniformity. Running back through here, we're gonna just see if we can find any little thing. We've got, of course, more flowers. That's like the main thing I add, as you guys know. It's the flowers just add kind of a more lively touch to it. I love that. Just looks so much better. There's our fire hydrant. Throw that in over there. We don't want this place to burn down now, do we? No, no, no. Alright, so I kind of am thinking that I want those a little closer to the house, so I am going to move them a little closer to the house in a second here, and I think I'm going to flip them around too. So we will delete those out quickly and throw them back up here. For some reason there's like multiple copies of these same like flower pots, so I have them like 2 or 3 times, so when I'm going through, if I change my mind on one of them, I can just delete it and I'll find it a little bit later. It's weird, but it works. This bench here is part of the movable shelf and bench pack. These you can place anywhere, and then you just walk up, pick it up, and move it towards the wall, which we will do once we, walk the property and check it out. Not too worried about it at the moment, so we just kind of throw it in there. That's one that I like. I like to think that these are outdoorsy people, so we will throw a bike in the back there. You never know. It'd be cool if you could actually, well, I guess they do have a bike that you could ride, but I don't know. These ones just look better. I kind of was thinking that we should put a shed out here, so I'm going to look through the sheds, but they don't really have like a small shed. They have like a couple different shed options, but they're just as big as like the garage and house. We don't want that. I don't like that. I'm not comfortable putting a shed that's bigger than my house. Like, it just looks goofy unless you're going for like a farm kind of look, But in town, it's not very common that somebody just has a shed that's bigger. So these entrance to the garden decorations here, I love these, and ironically they fit perfect. I don't know if this was planned, but I really love how this looks, so I am gonna add this little greenery vibe to the outside, and they just fit perfect. Look at that. Completely transformed the look of an already amazing mod. Scrolling through here, I have a ton of decoration houses. This is useful when building out this neighborhood because you don't want to fill up all your slots, and they do fill up fast. There's that mailbox. We're going to throw that mailbox up here, and I decided that since we have so much green, let's make this mailbox store green as well. Just adds a nice little, touch and uniformity to it once again. There's the shed. Like I said, I love this shed mod, but it just looks goofy. It's just so big. Then you got these small ones here, and you can open them, but it just doesn't quite fit the vibe. So we're just gonna scratch that whole idea of having a shed. There's really I don't know, unless we did something like that, but it's not quite worth it in my opinion. It just doesn't fit right. Going back through one more time in decorations, we see this little swing. Let's throw the little porch swing up there. It fits just perfectly in there, and it's basically the same color as the other stuff, so you don't even really know that it's there. I'm gonna throw a little bird bath out here. I don't know if we'll end up keeping that though. Sometimes I'll place things just to see how it looks, and then I'll go and delete it if I don't like it, or maybe I'll go and refine that mod and place it somewhere else and delete the original, and that was just a placeholder to remind me. There are little tricks like that you can do that'll make building a lot easier, but just be thorough, look through all the decorations 2, 3, 4, 5 times, check them all out, make sure you're happy with what you're doing. We're gonna throw a little hose reel over here because, you gotta water their plants somehow. But yeah, just be thorough, look through it all, especially before you place trees. If you place trees, it gets to be a hassle. No one wants to deal with having to go and cut the trees down or use a tree be gone or anything like that. It just kind of gets annoying. So be intentional when you're placing things, or don't place a ton of trees. I tend to overplace my trees. So just think before you do. We're gonna throw a little flower pot in over there. You don't really see it unless you're walking around, but I really like them small details like that. I think it's that little touch there that brings a build to the next level. So I see the rocks and I kind of think it'd be maybe kind of nice to add some rock out here. But it just didn't quite fit, like putting it up against the house. So we're gonna continue looking through here. We got this windmill with the flowers around it, but the coloring just doesn't quite match the house. Can't imagine putting it up front, so we're gonna scratch that one as well. Just quickly rush through the rest of these decorations. I know towards the bottom here, there's really not much that you're gonna click on and use, so you don't have to spend a ton of time looking through at the bottom, but like I said, be thorough. I do decide though, let's put a pond back here. A little tiny pond or something like that. It just kind of fits the vibe of this beautiful home with all the greenery and the flowers and all that. So we're gonna lower the ground, and then lately when I do my ponds, I've been kind of going around and just tapping the rays around the edges just to make it look a little rougher. You don't really have to do that. I didn't used to do that. I just kind of think it adds another level of depth to the terrain there. I do paint it with rock usually too, so it kind of looks like man-made. I mean, it would be kind of weird to just like have a random pond in the center of this just random block. So we're gonna make it look a little man-made, throw some rock around it. That water level is perfect, sitting right. You don't want to use the biggest body of water, use the right size one. Just be intentional with that as well. Like I said, like this is all about being intentional, taking your time, thinking it through. You can delete a lot of things, but sometimes the terrain acts goofy when you try and delete it, so just be careful. We are gonna go back to our rock now. So I don't want to overdo the rock. This isn't a massive pond, so we don't need to like throw rock everywhere. We're just gonna kind of do rock on the outside back edge there. Just kind of outline it and give it a little bit more volume. So there we go. We'll throw a few of these in. Looks weird right now, but just trust the process. We do go back and fill in the gaps. We're just kind of making the outer edge outline. Those ones sit pretty flat to the ground, so it is nice to use those as the outer outline. Then you can come back with like one of these cap looking ones, go over the top, and it does fill in really nice after that. So as you can see, we're just kind of placing them randomly. I have no rhyme or reason or method to my madness. We just throw them in, and when we feel like we're good, we quit. There isn't really much more I am going to do. Like I said, we're not putting a ton of rock in here. I don't want it to be overdone or like extreme. So I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to run around this outside edge, touch it up with the grass tool a little bit. I kind of went a little deep there, but that's okay. Not a big deal. You're not going to see it. Decided to go with the forest ground here to make a little path out. And we're going to put a bench so you can, you know, look at the pond and look at the beautiful scenery. So there is our bench. We've got a nice little base placed. I am happy with how this is looking. That means it's time for the grass. I'm not going to bore you with the full grass placement, so I'm going to cut out a lot of this, but keep in mind when you are doing grass, just take your time. If you mess up on Xbox controller, you press X and it'll delete it. I don't know what that translates to for PlayStation. I think it's square. I could be wrong. But press X or square and it will remove that grass as long as you don't get it in the road. If you get it in the road, you're kind of just screwed and you have to close out your game without saving and redo all the progress. So just be very mindful with that. So now we are going to finish off the hedges for the rest of the driveway. I'm not going to do a full fence around this place, but the hedges, the medium size, I think will work perfect for the driveway and finish that vibe off perfectly. But we are kind of nearing the end of this, guys. We really only have the trees left. Once those are placed, we're basically done. If you guys think of any, properties you guys want to see in this neighborhood, drop them in the comments. I will happily take some suggestions and build something that you guys want to see in this neighborhood. We've got quite a few plots left and quite a bit left of this series, and we could always do more. If there's any tutorials you want to see, let me know. We will do them. Otherwise, guys, you can always join my Discord. I do have a link tree there, and we are an official Giants partner now. So that is pretty neat and exciting. If you guys go and click on my link tree there are affiliate links to the DLCs, FarmSim 25, things like that. If you use my link, I make a commission off that, and it helps me continue doing what I love doing, you know, and that's creating videos for you guys to watch. So give that a click, check it out, guys. I do appreciate all you guys' continued support. It has been so much fun. Be sure to check out my TikTok as well, where I do live streams. If you do miss a live stream or anything like that, I do record all that footage and post it here on YouTube as well for you guys to watch, and that is in that raw stream footage category there. Otherwise, guys, like I said, this is a beautiful map of Settlers. I do play on console. This is episode 6, lot 94, guys, on the beautiful map of Settlers. Like I said, with trees too, be careful when you're placing them. Don't place trees where you don't want them. You don't want to have to go and cut them down and deal with all of that. Be intentional, make sure it makes sense. Yeah, you will have a beautiful time doing that. Otherwise, guys, we are pretty much done with this property here. We'll do another quick walk and walk through the house just to showcase how beautiful IKAS did on this mod. It is called the Small Barndominium. Like I said, guys, if you have any questions on the mods I use or any of the building tips, tricks, recommendations, anything like that, drop a comment, join the Discord, leave a comment on my TikTok, anything like that. I try to respond to everything. If I miss it, send me a DM and I will get you taken care of, guys. Once again, this is FarmSim 25 builds. Thank you guys for watching the Neighborhood Build Out series. Have a great one, guys. I appreciate you.